Okay. So now when we say that you are going to have FAD molecule, the long form of your FAD molecule is flavin adenine dinucleotide. So adenine dinucleotide. Remember it like a name. Okay, flavin adenine dinucleotide. NAD is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So this AD is going to remain constant. This is going to be nicotinamide. Okay, do you want me to break this word down into smaller parts? Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Okay, and NADP is going to be nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. This making sense? Coenzyme is coenzyme A. That's it.
Yes.
But these are the long forms of these words. Okay. At times, they will not mention the small abbreviations, but they'll give you the entire word. You need to be able to identify that they're still talking about FAD, NAD, and NADP. Okay. Now, what are these coenzymes allowing you to do? These coenzymes are basically the molecules that allow for the proton pumps to be functioning in a more efficient manner, and they aid in the process of formation of ATP. But when it comes to the questions on phosphorylation by chemiosmosis, they do ask you to give like a certain amount of detail. So what I'm going to do is, while you have all of this somewhere in your book, we are going to write in detail about your chemiosmosis. Okay, so I'm going to write over here chemiosmosis. Okay, what exactly is happening in this process? Whenever you look at the chemiosmosis, I will give you, let's say, 8 points. Okay, you chop down these 8 points into a way that you can make 4 mark ka answer. This is a entire detail. Tum isko chota karke write according to what feels good to you. So first thing is, the chemiosmosis is going to occur with phosphorylation. Okay, I'm gonna say needs a gradient across membrane. This gradient is established by pumping protons, that is H plus, protons from one side of membrane other. High concentration low concentration. Mm, okay. Now, in respiration, to do this is provided from a reduced coenzyme that has been reduced by oxidation of organic compounds. Okay, this is happening in animals. So I'm going to say this is in animals. Okay, but when you talk about the plants, I'm going to put this here. See now, this thing we'll again discuss when we come to photosynthesis. But when you are going to write the answer for chemiosmosis, you want to mention both the parts. So what I'm doing is here, I'm giving you a preview of what to write from the photosynthesis part as well. Okay. But that does not mean that when we go to the chapter photosynthesis, we are not going to come back to this. It's just that अगर तुम answers लिख रहे हो and you need to find chemoosmosis, ये सारा चीज यहाँ से तुम उठा सकते हो. In
So
photosynthesis,
chemiosmosis is phosphorylation.
yes, phosphorylation using chemiosmosis to make ATP. Chemiosmosis में भी photo नहीं यहाँ पे chemiosmosis में phosphorylation is necessary. But ये phosphorylation मतलब phosphate को add करना. Using what? Using osmosis. Osmosis is what? H plus ions from one side to the other. तो जब H प्लस आयोन्स आएंगे तुम्हारा इनऑर्गेनिक फॉस्फेट जाके अटैच होगा ADP को एंड थ्रू दैट प्रोसेस ATP will be formed. But this is happening when the H plus ions have a influx. Influx matlab move inside. Unless and until they influx, you cannot have the process of phosphorylation take place. Okay. Now, when you come to your plants, light is the initial source of energy. So light is the initial source of energy. This is used to excite the electrons. Protons cannot diffuse into the membrane directly, and therefore using osmosis move down a electrochemical gradient and through ATP synthase to catalyze formation of ATP. Okay, this is a very important thing for you to remember. And you also have to remember the structure of ATP synthase. It is a very important molecule for us. And if we remember that what it looks like, we are going to have much easier time trying to sort of, identify this whenever it is going to be given in your chemical reactions. So this is your membrane here. And usually in your diagrams, it would be shown something like this, through which you are going to have यहाँ से तुम्हारे पास आएंगे H plus ions under, and you are going to have ADP turned into ATP. This is what you need to know. Is this making sense यहाँ पे? Anything over here that you want me to go over?
Can I write it and read it once?
Yes. And I'll also see if I have a better diagram.
Like I study like till late at night, and then after directly wake up like half an hour before my tuition, and then not had breakfast, only brushed my teeth, and then for 1.5 hours I have chemistry.
My God, that's way too much studies, girl.
Yeah, like I wake up and like in 2 minutes I have to sit for the class.
Boy. This is like
And
online classes for me. This is how my online classes used to be. Yeah. But it works, somehow like your brain is very fresh. I don't know if it works for you, but it used to work like really well for me. Does
no,
it?
like I understand stuff because the teacher is very strict.
Okay.
And like she's taking my classes from Singapore, so I have to pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
But
like
but
with the
like this
time
works.
difference and all, she's still taking it.
No, but this is good. This is good. Wait, what did I do? Where did I add this guy? Yeah. See, this is your proton pump के साथ बाजू में ATP synthase. Just give me 1 second, okay? I just need to add यहाँ पे. So that is bright enough.
I wrote it.
Yeah, this makes sense though. See, once or twice if you read, okay, then only it's going to make a little bit more sense. But at this point, if you understand कि ये वाला जो pump है तुम्हारे पास, okay, here. Now let's see what is happening. These blue dots that you see here, these are going to be your membranes, okay? Bilipid layer है तुम्हारा. यहाँ पे on the outside, so I'm gonna just take this color. On the outside here, you have hydrogen, right? So you have your protons here. These protons are going to move in through a proton pump. When they move in, every single hydrogen molecule that comes in is going to turn this particular ATP synthase in a particular twist. जैसे ये move होगा, what it does is it takes this ADP and inorganic phosphate and churns it around and turns it into ATP. So one ATP is going to be formed when you have influx of hydrogen ions. You need these hydrogen ions to keep on moving in, because the minute your hydrogen ions stop coming inside, the production of ATP is going to stop. Right? That is following here. Now, when you look at these coenzymes, okay, I'm just going to go over the part with coenzymes now. So every single time that I have an enzyme, so let's take a very simple example. If I have NAD plus 2 hydrogens, this is going to turn into NADH N plus 1 proton like this. So you are going to have this in the oxidized form that is now going to go and get reduced. So you're going to have here this way. So this is going to be the oxidized formation, okay, or oxidized form that is going to go and get reduced. This is an important thing for you to remember in this entire series of reactions. Your enzymes are going to allow this particular reaction to be facilitated. Okay, so yeah, and this one. Another thing that you can have happening in these reactions, again using your coenzymes only, is you can have FAD plus H2, that is going to give you FADH2. यहाँ पे again you are going to have oxidation and reduction that's going to occur. Okay, these are two reactions that have to be understood. The reduced form of NAD and FAD can be written as NAD, or you can also write as NAD reduced. Whenever you have these reduced molecules, you are going to be able to use these for a series of reactions, but your coenzymes, which is the enzyme, then the NAD, FAD, and NADP are all going to function as hydrogen carriers, which when they are going to be reduced, they are going to have that one hydrogen atom, and if they are going to be oxidized, they're going to lose that hydrogen atoms, and this is why these molecules are also going to function as the carriers of energy or carriers of electrons from one metabolic pathway to other metabolic pathway, and this has to be written in a very logical statement. Okay, so we are going to put that down here. Coenzymes NAD, FAD, and NADP are, bless you, which are alternately this allows the transfer of energy via electrons in the hydrogen atoms using different enzymes, and is an important part in metabolic pathways. Okay, this is why you are going to have your NAD either accept hydrogen atoms and get reduced to NADH plus H, okay, or you are going to have FAD get reduced and turn into FADH2. Irrespective of whether you have your NAD or you have your FAD molecule, both of these are going to function as your hydrogen carriers, and these two molecules are going to be able to move through your reactions in a way that every single time they go through, they are going to allow for hydrogen to go along with them. And this hydrogen is then essentially going to help you in the process of formation of your ATP molecule. Okay. Now, every single time that you have to form ATP molecule, like you saw, you need to carry out the process of oxidation and reduction, which means essentially some amount of oxygen has to be added to your body to carry out this process, right? Which means that now we have to bring in another major player over here, which is you have to have cellular respiration being carried out. Cellular respiration. So I'll just make this a little smaller. Are you still writing this part?
No, I was listening to you.
Okay, तो मैंने इसको ले लिया साइड में. Now we will talk about our cellular respiration. Now, what exactly is happening in your cellular respiration? You are going to have transfer of chemical energy from all the organic molecules that you have to form a usable form of energy, which is called as ATP. What are these organic molecules that we are talking about? The organic molecules are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. These are going to get oxidized so that you can make availability of ATP through the process of synthesis. Let us see how this is going to be done. So I'm going to write here first cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the transfer of chemical energy from organic molecules such as carbohydrates, proteins, and fats so that it is available in the usable form, that is ATP. So now, what are the key players here again? You have the chemical energy, okay? What is this chemical energy doing? This chemical energy is going to be taken from your carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and is going to be converted into ATP, which is nothing but the usable and abundantly available form of energy called as ATP. Now, all of these molecules are going to be broken down, and as you break down these molecules, they give out certain amount of energy. If we are to log these amounts of energies, you could say every single time that you break down carbohydrates, the carbohydrates will give you 16 kilojoules per gram of energy. Okay, these carbohydrates are going to include your starch, glycogen, glucose, sucrose, or even your lactose. Okay, if you break down lipids, lipids will give you 39 kilojoules per gram of energy. If you break down proteins, proteins will give you 17 kilojoules per gram of energy, which brings us to another part, that is your lipids are the most energy abundant biomolecule that you have. But even though your lipids are one of the most abundantly energy rich molecule that we know of, it is quite difficult for us to break these. Okay, but these are also the molecules that are going to be required by your body to make certain important structures such as cell membranes. But your lipids are going to have more energy, and when your body is in like a energy debt, your body will try to make it a point to break down the lipids. Okay, so lipids are going to be broken down when there
Yes.
is going to be a very huge amount of energy required.
But do they ask this exact amount?
ये तुमको अमाउंट्स दी जाएंगी. ओके, तुमको ऐसे अमाउंट्स बताए जाएंगे, तुमको पूछेंगे कि ये क्यों है कि इसका अमाउंट ज्यादा है. तो if we say that for lipids, if they ask you why is it that lipids have more energy, you will say lipids have more energy per unit mass than carbohydrates or proteins because they are highly reduced compounds. Okay, तो ये already reduced है, मतलब उनके पास already बहुत सारा H plus attached है, which means उनको अब बस तुम्हारे ADP के पास लेके आना है, and as soon as they'll come next to your ADP, they will start converting ADP into ATP. Right? That makes sense? Now, I will have, I'll write over here all the different reactions, okay, that are going to go into place for you to carry out your aerobic respiration. So cellular respiration ka important example is your aerobic respiration, and aerobic respiration is going to have 4 stages. Okay, the first step is glycolysis. The second step is the link reaction. The third step is the Krebs cycle. And the fourth and the last one is oxidative. I'll write it on top. Is oxidative phosphorylation. These are the 4 important steps, and using these 4 important steps, you are going to be carrying out the aerobic respiration. And with this aerobic respiration, you will notice that the amount of ATP produced is going to be really, really high. And using these high energy molecules like ATP, you are going to be able to survive. Now, what is happening in the base here? You have something like your C6H12O6 plus aerobic respiration, so oxygen. And as a result of this, you have 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, in a small amount of energy that is going to be formed. Now, if you look at this, the minute you revert this reaction, this reverse is called as photosynthesis. Okay, but when it goes in the forward direction, like this, we call this as your respiration. This making sense? Yahan tak?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But this is only the starting, na, so.
This is just the starting. अब आएंगे तुम्हारे दिमाग बौखलाने वाली चीजें. So just
Wait, can you go back?
yeah,
I
sure.
was
नहीं ये क्या कर दिया मैंने. Fine. अरे अब आएगा ग्लाइकोलिसिस और ये पढ़ने के बाद हो जाते हैं दिमाग के तोते. Because it is actually difficult to remember, okay? But if you do 4-5 questions, then you will find it much more easier to deal with.
Yep, I wrote it.
You got this? Okay. Now I will tell you in very, very easy, very simple form what you need to know about this glycolysis. Okay. Now, every single time that you speak of this term glycolysis, understand that glycolysis is nothing but the breakdown of glucose in order for us to make energy. Now, every single time that you carry out this process of glycolysis, you are going to turn one 6-carbon compound into another two 2-carbon compounds. Okay, that means if we were, now wait, I have this very interesting picture here with me. Just give me 1 second.
Wait, I couldn't hear you.
Give me 1 second, 1 second. Okay, now you see from this Pinterest wala post, okay, I have shared with you one very nice image. This gives you an overview of the entire process of formation of energy. Obviously, you have to learn all the parts of this. It's not going to be like bas itna ek image tumko pata ho gaya, so you are going to have it much easier. No, but having an overview of this image definitely helps, because now you are going to be able to identify kaun se reaction ke baad kya step aa rahi hai. Okay, and then there is a easy mnemonic for us to remember the steps of glycolysis. There is an easy way of us to remember कि कितने ATP molecules बन रहे हैं, इतने ATP molecules क्यों बन रहे हैं. All of that is going to be present. But for now, all that I want you to do is write down these two sessions that these two pictures that I'm sending you. उनको बस note down करके रखो. And then what I will do is I will go into detail of this entire thing with you, and we will understand why, which, when, where,
This is
for
so
whom.
detailed.
Yes, इतना. लेकिन तुमको अब जब तुम क्वेश्चन देखोगे, इतने डिटेल में तुमको ड्रॉ नहीं करना है, तुमको इस चीज को एनालाइज करना है. तो आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू what exactly they want you to know in here. ओके, बट ये सारा तुमको याद करने के लिए या फिर उस चीज का एनालिसिस देने के लिए वेर दे से आउटलाइन द प्रोसेस ऑफ ग्लाइकोलिसिस. ओके, या फिर अभी जो हमने पढ़ा, गिव मी 1 second, आई सेंड यू द क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम हियर. मई जून 2016 का क्वेश्चन 1. सो हियर यू गो.